Welcome to your Tech News Today, where we keep you informed and empowered by giving you the latest tech stories that impact your daily life. It's Monday, March 18th. I'm Monica G, sitting in for Mike James. Coming up in a bit, we'll tell you about Apple's surprise product announcement. Then, how to keep important emails from being marked spam. Plus, hundreds of apps infected with adware could destroy your device. And learn how to stream TV without breaking the bank. We'll get started in a moment, but first, I'd like to recognize our partners who help make this podcast possible. We start with a bit of a surprise announcement from Apple. On Monday, Apple revealed a new batch of iPads, which includes a 10.5-inch iPad Air and an iPad mini. It's the first new iPad mini to be released in almost 4 years. One new feature is both iPads will now support Apple Pencil and Smart Keyboard. This allows you to not only consume content, but easily create it. The new iPads will also increase power and performance with the A12 Bionic chip, along with Retina display. Some new things to be excited about with the latest iPad Air is Apple Pencil support, a 70% boost in performance and twice the graphics capability. As for the new Mini, it's capable of delivering 3 times the performance and 9 times faster graphics than previous models and 25% brighter advanced Retina display with True Tone technology. The new iPads are also outfitted with advanced front and back-facing cameras that take great photos and capture clear and stable 1080p videos. Apple's taking orders online now, and you can buy the Mini starting at $399. The iPad Air selling point begins at $499. For more details on what to expect, go to Commando.com and read our article titled, Apple Announces New iPads with Features You're Going to Want. Here are ways to make sure you're not missing important emails. The perks of messaging through email made modern-day communication almost instantaneous and super easy to deploy. But these same conveniences also make it a trivial process for spammers to duplicate and massively send out millions of junk emails in only a few seconds. Sure, spam filters can help save you from some of the scams, phishing attacks, and advertisements you don't care about, but sometimes these programs also return false positives, and they can filter out important messages that you can't afford to miss. How many times have you checked your spam folder? When you've missed an important email. Probably more times than you'd like to remember. One way to stop this from happening again is to make sure that all your significant email contacts are what's known as whitelisted. This is the opposite of blacklisting. When you blacklist an email address, you're saying that you never want to receive messages from a certain address again, no matter what. On the flip side, when you whitelist an email address, you're telling the email program that any message from that particular contact is always safe and exempted from your spam filter. Examples of contacts that you may want to whitelist include your boss, coworkers, family, and close friends, so you won't miss any important messages that contain information that could trigger your mail client's automatic junk filter. You may also want to whitelist companies like Commando.com and publications you trust, so you won't miss their correspondence and important alerts. The tricky thing to know is each email provider has its own way of whitelisting contacts that are just a little different from each other. But don't worry, we've broken each one down for you. Just go to Commando.com and read our article titled, How to Make Sure Your Important Email Isn't Marked as Spam in Gmail, Apple Mail, Yahoo, AOL, and others. You'll find everything you need to know. Well, if you or someone you know have an Android phone, you'll want to pay attention here. More apps have been discovered on the Google Play Store that are infected with adware, and there's a good chance that it's on your device right now. Yep, same junk, different day. Security researchers at Check Point found a new kind of Android adware disguised as an advertising platform. And get this, it's infecting more than 200 apps that have been downloaded more than 150 million times combined. Yikes! This particular adware is called Simbad, and it's sneaking into apps by presenting itself as a legit ad-serving platform. But what developers don't realize is the adware is actually piggybacking their apps to get around the Google Play Store scanning system, kind of like a malicious stowaway. Once an infected app is installed, Simbad opens a backdoor on the gadget and installs more malware. Then it deletes the app icon and runs it in the background. It doesn't stop there, though. As it's running behind the scenes, it's going through a list of web addresses to serve ads and generate false profits at your expense. The only ounce of good news is that Google has pulled this latest round from the Play Store. The bad news is some of them were available for nearly 2 years. So now's the time to check if you've downloaded any of them and get rid of them immediately. Most of the affected apps were simulation games, but some were a mishmash of utilities like photo editors and browsers. To see the full list of adware infected apps, head over to commando.com, read our article titled New Adware That Can Destroy Your Phone Found in 200 Apps, so check your phones now. Not only will you see the list of infected apps, but you'll also find step-by-step instructions on how to delete them. It's very helpful, and you don't want to miss it. Just ahead, it's getting harder to cut the cord economically, and we're going to tell you why you don't want to ruin your expensive phone with a cheap charger. Right now, let me tell you about our sponsors at Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. Plus, there's no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio. Discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss an opportunity to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of Tech News a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at money.robinhood.com. That's money.robinhood.com. With so many digital streaming services to choose from, it's getting harder and harder to cut the cord in an affordable way. The game used to be dominated by cable and satellite providers, but now it's Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime Video, and others. And the field will soon be more cluttered with services on the way from Disney, Warner Media, Apple, and IMDb. Just like cable companies, streaming services are looking for you to sign up and pay up. And when you sign up for more than one, the bills can really start adding up. Before you know it, you're paying just as much, if not more, than you did when you were a cable subscriber. But what if you had alternatives that wouldn't break the bank with the affordability of being absolutely free? Yes, they are out there. They just don't advertise as much as the higher-priced competition. We're talking about services like Sony Crackle and Pluto TV, which are full of shows and movies that you can spend hours enjoying. We also know about a few more. To see a list of streaming services that will give you all the joy of binging without breaking the bank, go to commando.com and read our article titled 5 Sites to Get Free TV Without Any Streaming Costs. You'll learn some pro tips to help you cut the cord the right way. Remember when cell phones first became popular? We pretty much used them to make calls and sometimes send text messages. As you know, those days are long gone. Now you can deposit checks into your bank account right from the palm of your hand. We can also use smartphones to check in for a flight, pay for groceries, stream movies, listen to music, and so much more. It's safe to say these handy devices are an essential lifeline to the outside world, which is why it's important to make sure that they don't run out of juice at critical times. Imagine not being able to make an important business call because your phone battery died. You look around and can't find the charger, or the one you do find has stopped working. It's extremely frustrating and could end up causing serious headaches at work. It's time to get yourself a new charger. But they're not all created equally, especially some of the really cheap ones. We've seen reports of cheaply made charging cables causing smartphones to overheat, sometimes resulting in damaged phones. The last thing you want is to put your $1,000 gadget at risk just to save a few bucks on a charger. When talking about Apple gadgets, one thing to look for in a charging cable is that it's MFI certified. That stands for Made for iPhone, and that the charger has been certified by Apple. This is really important because MFI cables are built with a chip inside that regulates the amount of current being delivered to the battery, so you don't have to worry about overheating and possibly damaging your device. For Android, you want to make sure that any charger you use is compliant with USB-C specification. Cables that are in compliance prevent the device from drawing too much power from a computer's USB port when charging, which could lead to damaging your gadget. So how do you know which charging cables meet the mark? Don't worry, we've done the research for you. Head on over to commando.com and read our article titled Save Money with These Discounted Cables and Chargers for iPhone and Android. We'll give you a few options for both operating systems. Speaking of smartphones, could yours be making you fat? Let's face it, smartphones can help us do some really stupid things like wander into traffic. If not, we wouldn't need protections like zombie traffic lights. In case you haven't heard, that's a new pedestrian safety technology that's popping up in some countries to protect people who are so glued to their phones that they're unknowingly stepping out into traffic, also known as morons. There are some other bad side effects to worry about too, like messing with your physical health. But how? You probably get your news, entertainment, and social media updates from your smartphone a lot of times while you're sitting down to eat. Well, a recent study in the journal Physiology and Behavior found that people who ate while using their smartphone consumed more calories than those who didn't, up to 535 more. That's roughly an extra Big Mac added to your plate. But the good news is that there are ways for you to turn that around and have your smartphone work for you instead of against you. Things like activity apps, but finding the right one can seem like a pretty daunting task. There are all kinds of health-related apps that track your activity, nutrition, stress data, heart rate, and sleep while it delivers insights based on your progress, and you can use them to set goals for, say, caloric intake or protein. Many of those apps can also be paired with wearables like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch. But how do you choose? Check out commando.com, where we've put together a list of some of the most popular health-related apps and everything they can do. So go ahead, get up off that couch and get moving. Just try not to have the phone up to your face the entire time. Well, Twitter has a new feature coming out that might spark your interest. The stale bag of chips of the social media world just launched a revamped camera feature to work more seamlessly in the app as a better way to take on Facebook stories and Snapchat. If you use Twitter, it's possible you already have the new version of the app. To check, open the app and swipe left. If you see options to take a video, photo, or go live, then yep, you've got it. Simply take a photo or video, and it'll give you the option to add text, your location, and hashtags, even different colors if you'd like, and based on where you're at, it might even offer up suggestions. If you can't beat them, join them, or at least try to look like them. Just wait a couple more years before Twitter announces another breakthrough feature that someone else already came up with. Hey, if you love Twitter, more power to you. We're there too. Feel free to follow us through the @Commando account. Coming up, students are caught changing grades. Right now, a quick thank you to our partners who help make these podcasts possible. And finally, for today's Commando Kicker. Remember in the classic movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off when our hero hacked into his school's records and changed a grade in his total absences? I didn't know that was a how-to. Well, some students in Michigan have done the same thing, changing grades and attendance records. The school district, Orchard View Schools, has been tight-lipped about the incident, but it did indicate the breach was limited to the high school and that parents were notified. Who knows? Maybe those students needed a little more attention, or like Ferris, a little R&R. For more fun and interesting facts, go to commando.com and search for Commando Kicker. That's your tech news today, and if you enjoyed it, check out our other digital updates. You'll get tons of great information like our Consumer Tech Update, packed with facts, opinion, and introducing you to the latest going on in tech underneath the surface. Tech news this week filled with top tech stories, scams, security alerts, product reviews, and the crazy happenings in the world of technology. And don't miss Commando On Demand, where Kim provides in-depth insight on the ever-changing technology landscape by talking to tech industry movers and shakers. Subscribe for free on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, or podnet.com. You'll be glad you did. Also, check out the big stories trending right now at commando.com. We have a tip titled 5 iOS 12 security features you should turn on right now. You'll learn how to use the helpful autofill feature in Safari in a secure way. Then, why you should immediately turn on USB restricted mode. Plus, how to set up medical ID and emergency contact and more. Another tip you should check out is how fast is 5G? Understanding what it means to you. You'll learn the inner details of the upcoming 5G network, like what you need to know now, when you can expect it, and how much it'll cost. And by the way, every week on Kim's national radio show, she answers questions from people like you who want to live their best digital life ever. Whether it's a family problem, a business issue, or you're wondering how to get things done, you can make an appointment to speak with Kim. Use our dedicated caller line and leave a message at 602-381-8200, extension 290. A producer will get back to you. And thanks for listening.